Hello, my name is Evelyn Tian, and I am of Truven Health Analytics, an IBM company. Truven Health is an education, training, and assistance contractor for the MACPro system. I will be walking through this demonstration with you today. The purpose of this session is to help you understand how to review and approve a Medicaid, MAGI Eligibility and Administration State Plan Amendment, or SPA, submission package in MACPro. The call is on presentation mode now to prevent background noises. There will be opportunities to ask questions throughout the presentation and at the end of the training. CMS and training personnel are here to assist with any questions you may have. Additionally, we will be looking at a lot of information today. This is to give you an idea of how MACPro works. We recognize this will be a lot to take in. Therefore, we will also be providing today's slides following this training. Also, these slides, the video recording of this session, and an introductory reference document to assist you in using MACPro will be placed on Medicaid.gov in the future. And once this is available on Medicaid.gov, you will receive a notification from the MACPro Help Desk to let you know. Our agenda for today includes the transition to MACPro and how to obtain access to the system, a brief synopsis of MACPro CMS User Roles, an overview of reviewing and approving a Medicaid MAGI Eligibility and Administration SPA submission package, and a step-by-step demonstration of the workflow within MACPro. The webinar will end with some information about how to contact the MACPro Help Desk to obtain technical assistance, and a final opportunity to ask questions. And finally, there will be an additional resources section with some extra information for your future reference at the end of this PowerPoint. Now, let's briefly review the transition to Medicaid MAGI Eligibility and Administration SPA in MACPro. Medicaid MAGI Eligibility and Administration will be going live in MACPro on August 28, 2017. This transition will include the following: mandatory and optional MAGI-based eligibility groups, additional eligibility sections including state residency, citizenship/immigration, and presumptive eligibility, as well as single state agency sections. Medicaid MAGI eligibility and admin SPAs currently being processed in MDL will be completed in MMDL. And as of August 28, 2017, all new SPA actions should be made in MACPro. Additionally, draft SPAs will no longer be accessible in MMDL as of August 25th. When subsequent SPAs are submitted and approved in MACPro, they become the official record. Finally, in time, the official and complete PDF copies of all eligibility and administration SPAs approved in MMDL may be viewed in MACPro. The data in MMDL from approved Medicaid, MAGI, and eligibility SPAs will be copied into MACPro for states to use as a basis for future amendments and to be used as reference material. States will find the MACPro screens pre-populated with the currently approved information, except where the MMDL and MACPro templates differ. Next, let's briefly review the steps necessary for gaining access to MACPro, as you may have already begun or completed this process. MACPro Access is managed by the Enterprise Identity Management EIDM portal, which is an identity management and services system that provides users with access to CMS applications. Please note that EIDM is accessed via the CMS Enterprise Portal address https://portal.cms.gov, which is different from the MACPro link https://macpro.cms.gov. Once you register for an EIDM ID, you should request an EIDM role for MACPro. Please note, your EIDM role for MACPro is different than your MACPro role. Your EIDM role for MACPro only provides access to MACPro. Your MACPro role will provide specific action permissions within MACPro. All CMS users should request the MACPro CMS staff EIDM role. Detailed instructions on how to do this are included towards the end of today's slide deck and were included in the meeting invitation this morning via the links to Medicaid.gov. We ask that all new users register an EIDM ID if you have not done so already, and request your EIDM role for MACPro now. All MACPro users must have an EIDM ID and approved EIDM role for MACPro to access MACPro. Additionally, some users may already have a role for health home spa or quality measure reporting. Please note that users should only hold one EIDM ID, even if accessing multiple CMS applications through the EIDM portal. Once your EIDM role for MACPro is approved, the next step is to request your user role within MACPro. MACPro user roles determine your capabilities within the application. You should have received an email notifying you to request your MACPro role along with detailed instructions. Additional instructions can be found toward the end of today's presentation. Please note, you cannot access MACPro to request your MACPro roles until your EIDM role for MACPro Access is approved, which we reviewed on the previous slide. Now, let's briefly review the roles available to CMS in MACPro. For those of you who attended the introductory training for CMS users, this will be familiar. Different roles have been established for CMS and states within MACPro. These MACPro roles determine the functions accessible to a MACPro user. It's also important to note that the user roles in MACPro differ from those that are used in other CMS web-based systems like MMDL, WMS, and CARTS. And MACPro Medicaid State Plan CMS roles, which include those for Medicaid eligibility, administration, and health home spas, differ from MACPro CMS quality measure roles. First, let's review the Medicaid State Plan roles available to CMS. This page shows the Medicaid State Plan CMS MACPro User Roles. You'll notice that there are 6 roles in bold. These are the roles that must exist to move a submission package through the CMS workflow for approving or disapproving a SPA. These essential roles include the CMS Point of Contact, or CPOC, CMS Submission Review Team, or SRT, CMS Senior Reviewer, CMS Package Approver, CMS Disapproval Coordinator, and CMS Package Disapprover. In the next few slides, we will show you how each of these roles fit into the workflow. Furthermore, during the in-system portion of today's presentation, we will show you the functions each of these roles have. Additionally, there are roles that have administrative functions, specifically approving other MACPro roles. This includes the CMS System Administrator and the CMS Role Approver. Individuals who hold these roles are responsible for managing role requests within MACPro. All roles can be designated to either central office or one of the regional offices. Finally, unless noted otherwise, users can hold multiple roles in MACPro. To further elaborate from a CMS perspective, let's pass it over to Stephanie Bell, a CMS representative on today's call.
Thanks, Evelyn. So these roles were really designed to follow a lot of the processes that we already have in place. So it's, for the most part, things that the functions and the way a SPA moves through CMS is not going to change a great deal when we introduce MACPro. What will really change is that we'll be doing it all in the system as opposed to on paper and via email and through the SPA mailbox and through our individual emails, so everything will be in one place. And we're going to get into more about how these different roles function, and we'll go through each of the specific, you'll see how each of the specific roles contributes to the flow of a SPA from the beginning of it coming to CMS all the way through to the approvals, which is what we're aiming for. So back to you, Evelyn.
Thanks, Stephanie. Now let's look at how these roles operate in the review process. There are key functionalities in MACPro that are available to CMS users. We will briefly introduce them to you now, since this may already be familiar to you from previous trainings. They will also be shown in further detail in this presentation. For Medicaid state plan in MACPro, anything that is submitted to CMS begins as a submission package. A submission package is a compilation of state plan templates that make up a submission that CMS will review, in this case, a state plan amendment. The MMDL state plan templates are now referred to as reviewable units in MACPro and abbreviated as RUs. Reviewable units are the forms in which state enter information for their submission package. The review tool is available to users on the CMS review team to facilitate a streamlined review process and officially document submission reviews. In the review tool, the CMS point of contact and submission review team roles can enter an assessment on each reviewable unit of the submission package. Users on the CMS review team can also enter analyst notes in the review tool. Analyst notes are internal to the CMS review team, CMS point of contact, and submission review team roles, and serve as a centralized form of communication when conducting a review of a submission package. Another method of centralized communication is the correspondence log. The correspondence log is an official record of communication between CMS and the state. CMS can provide information to the state and the state can respond. Only the state point of contact and the CMS point of contact can write in the correspondence log, but others may view the correspondence log in the package for reference. Additionally, workflow actions are assigned to users as tasks to keep the submission progressing in a timely manner. Tasks are sent to users via email in a task list in MACPro. Users who serve as a CMS point of contact in MACPro can submit clarification requests to the state prior to recommended approval or disapproval of a submission. The clarification puts the package back in the state's hands. It is similar to an unlock in MMDL and does not stop the 90-day regulatory clock. Another option would be for the CMS point of contact to submit a request for additional information or an RAI. This option stops the 90-day regulatory clock but provides the state with an opportunity to address more in-depth questions or updates. Finally, a state-specific approval notice is generated by the CMS point of contact. The approval notice does not replace official approval documentation. However, it is a form that notifies the user that their submission package has been approved. It is a part of the official record of the package and can be viewed by the state following approval. Again, we will briefly pause for a note from CMS.
This is Stephanie again. I think there are a lot of great functionalities that are in MACPro that we will need to learn how to really take advantage of, and I think we'll get better and better at them the more SPAs that we get in the system. But a couple of things that I'm excited about are that the reviewable units, we've spent a lot of time working on making the reviewable units really clear and easy to understand and include all of the options available to a state so that when they submit their SPA, it should be correct because it's hard to choose the wrong thing. So that the policies are really clearly laid out in the state plan pages and should be easy to follow and understand. Another thing that is the review tool. It's the way that we can go through and see how does each reviewable unit stack up. Have they done what they're supposed to? Do we understand what they're trying to do? And then using the analyst notes and the correspondence log, all of that can be documented. So when I'm looking at a SPA and I have a question or I'm not understanding something, I put that down in the review tool in the notes. And in the future, if somebody comes back to that SPA, in 3 years, they'll be able to see, oh, here's why they did it that way, and here's what they, determined to be the appropriate course of action. So I think there are a lot of great tools that the more comfortable we get with them, the more useful they will be.
All right, great. Thanks, Stephanie. Here is the full CMS SPA workflow representing an approval outcome. Right now, this may be a lot to take in. We will break it down step by step in the following slides and walk through each of the steps in the MACPro training environment. However, as you become more familiar with MACPro, I suggest keeping this slide in this mind for your future reference. First, the state submits the official SPA submission package to CMS. Then, the CMS Point of Contact, or CPOC, receives a submission package. The CPOC selects Submission Review Team SRT members for each reviewable unit or section of a SPA submission package, and then sets a milestone date for completion of their assessment within the review tool. The milestone date is essentially an internal due date to ensure the review stays within the 90-day clock. However, the milestone date does not actually affect the 90-day clock. The CMS internal standard operating procedures provides an additional guidance related to the milestone date. During the review, the CPOC compiles initial questions from the SRT comments. Utilizing the clarification process, the CPOC sends these questions to the state, along with the package, so that needed revisions can be made. A clarification is what you may know as an unlock in MMDL. We will go into these steps in detail in a few slides. Once the review of the submission is complete, the CPOC provides a recommended disposition within MACPro. The CPOC may recommend a request for additional information, or RAI, based on the review of the package. This will return the package to the state with specific questions and stop the 90-day clock. We will go into this process in more detail in a few slides. The CPOC may also recommend disapproval, and this alters the workflow. We will review the disapproval workflow as well. If the CPOC recommends approval, he or she will then draft the approval notice and select senior reviewers to review the package. The senior reviewers then reviews the package disposition recommendation and have the option to request a meeting or disagree with the recommendation.
I'm going to jump in just to mention, Evelyn mentioned the standard operating procedures, and we have been working on those, the SOP as supplemental guidance to help you all. There's a user guide and also the SOP to help walk through all of the steps on how to move forward with the SPA.
All right, thanks, Stephanie. The senior reviewer then reviews the recommended package disposition, and for this purpose, we will assume that the senior reviewer agrees with the recommended approval. Next, the package approver receives the package, and he or she has the option to request a meeting, return the package to the CPOC, or approve the package. Once the package approver completes the approval, the CPOC receives the package, uploads the PDF approval letter, and returns the package to the State Point of Contact, or SPOC. The SPOC receives the package and acknowledges receipt. Finally, the CPOC closes the package in MACPro. Now, let's look at how the process flow would differ in the case of a disapproval. Like with the approval flow, we will break the disapproval flow down to review in two parts, beginning with the upper portion of this workflow. Much of the process is the same in the beginning stages of the disapproval workflow compared to the approval workflow. We will start with the point at which the CPOC determines that they will recommend disapproval. At this point, the disapproval coordinator completes the disapproval package and selects senior reviewers to review the package and a disapproval recommendation. Then, the senior reviewer reviews the package and recommended disposition. The senior reviewer user may request a meeting, or the senior reviewer user may disagree with the recommendation, which returns the package to the CPOC for the submission review team to re-review. Again, the senior reviewer reviews the package. Let's assume that the senior reviewer agrees with the disapproval. The package disapprover then receives the package. The package disapprover may request a meeting. Once the package disapprover agrees with the disapproval, the package disapprover then disapproves the package. Once the package is disapproved, the CPOC receives the package, uploads the PDF disapproval letter, and returns the package to the SPOC. The State Point of Contact, or SPOC, receives the package and acknowledges receipt. And the CPOC closes the package.